Do I really need air assist for my diode laser? Once I get my laser, do I really need to calibrate the camera? If you are considering getting a diode laser, I think these are two questions you really need to consider. In today's video, I'm going to do a couple of experiments. I'm going to cut out a piece of wood using air assist and a piece of wood not using air assist. We're going to compare those to see how they look. After that, I'm going to see if my camera needs to be calibrated, and if it does, I'm going to walk you through every step of the process. So if this is something you're interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Now today's video isn't going to be a sexy video where I show you a project that I make. Today's video is going to be about some technical things that if you get a wecreat Vista or Vision, you need to think about. And these two things are, first of all, air assist, and second of all, calibrating your camera. Now the wecreat lasers come standard with an air assist, and I want to show you first of all why that is so important. Now this is just a little thing that came with the Vista, something that they showed you. It's been tested out. I'm going to put it right here in the middle, and on my screen I'm going to click on New Project. All that we're going to do for this project is we're going to cut out two circles. Actually, let's cut out rectangles because I already have a circle cut out of this when I didn't have the air assist on. So let's go ahead and move to rectangles. First, I'm going to hit refresh so that I can see where my material is. And it's not straight in there, but for this experiment, that's going to be okay. I'll go to rectangle, click on it, and then I'm going to draw a rectangle just right here. Let's make that larger so you can see it. And actually I want to cut it out, so let's click on cut. I'm going to go right here to material, click on that. I'm already on wood. This is just basswood and it's 3mm. Once I've done that, I click confirm. So let's start by cutting this out with the air assist. First I want to auto measure because even though I put in 3mm, this auto measure is going to make sure that that is the right thickness, or it's going to adjust it to the correct thickness. When you auto measure, the light goes off, that laser beam measures the height of the material, and then the light comes back on. And by using the auto measure, you can see I wasn't right. The thickness is 4.56mm thick. Let's go ahead and click start. I'm going to go ahead and click send. I'll close the lid, turn on my air purifier, and then we'll cut this first rectangle out. Again, this is with the air assist. That cut all the way through, so I'll go ahead and click on complete. Let's take a look at that. Look at how clean that cut. Now this one was cut without air assist, but I'm going to do another rectangle or square right below that so you can see them side by side. Go ahead and put it back inside. Just so that you can hear me better, I went ahead and turned off the air purifier, and I also unplugged the air assist. Let's click refresh so we can see where it cut through the first time. Then I'm going to click on my square or rectangle and move it down. Just to make sure it's accurate, let's auto measure one more time. And it changed just a little bit. We'll go ahead and press start again. I'm going to start up my air purifier, then I'm going to close the lid and press the button. Hopefully you can really see the difference there. Look at how there is virtually no scorching on top of this one, and then there is scorching on this one. Let me get the two pieces that came out. I think we're going to be able to tell which one had the air assist and which one didn't. That is really easy to tell. This one did not have the air assist, and this one did. So when making a purchase, whether it's a wecreat or not, just know how important air assist really is. I love the fact that they include it with this machine. They also include it with their Vision. Now the second thing that I wanted to talk about was calibrating your camera. I have not calibrated the camera in the Vista yet. We're going to do that today together, and we're going to see if it made any difference. Now let me show you what I did earlier today. On this piece of wood, I drew 3 little pencil marks. One was here, one here, and one here. I put it in here, I used the camera, and I made sure that 2 cut circles and 1 engraved circle was right on top of those marks. This one was perfect. This and this one, they were not in the right place. So I do believe that I need to calibrate this machine. Now notice this circle here. Again, this was one that I did without air assist. So we're going to duplicate this test on the back side. When you're deciding on a placement for your material, even if you want to place your material over here, you can see that laser dot is right here. So if you're going to use auto measure, you need to first have it where the dot is, then you can move it. But for me, I'm just going to start with the dot right on that. So back on the computer, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the rectangle, and I'm going to click refresh. I'm also going to go ahead and do an auto measure again. It should come out close to the same as those first two, 4 point something, and it came out at 4.19. I'm going to draw 3 little circles. And then because it's easier to see them with the fill engrave, let me go ahead and click fill engrave. All right, there's the circle. Let's go ahead and move it on top of this. And you can see it's right on top of it. Now, we're going to see a little bit of the pencil mark left because I didn't draw an exact circle for a pencil mark. I'm going to click on it, hit Command-C for copy, Command-V for paste on my Mac. I'm going to go ahead and move this one over to this side. All right, let's move that up over this circle, or over this pencil mark. And then let's go ahead and add one more. And I'll move it down to this one. Just to show the difference, I'm going to have this one engrave. You can see it's on fill engrave. And then I'll select these two and I'll have them cut. So let's go ahead and process this. After we do that, we'll do the calibration. Then we will do 3 more dots and we'll see if it makes a difference. Click Start, then Send. Then I'll push that button on the front. This says it'll take about 14 seconds. I'm going to close the lid and then press that button on the front. We'll click complete and then let's look at this. Now, I forgot to plug in my air assist. And so look at the burn marks on top of that. Let me see if I'm getting it in the camera correctly. Look at those burn marks. Now earlier I did these with the air assist and they're perfect. Now I can see that this one cut in the right area. This engrave is a little bit to the right. It's not bad, but it's not right on top of it. And then this cut is a little bit to the right as well. If you're engraving on something really small, like one of those little dog tags, you want to try to have it just as accurate as possible. So let's go through the Calibrate process. When I opened my wecreat Vista, this wood was inside. I wrote wecreat Vista. Well, I misspelled it, didn't I? wecreat Visa. I meant to put wecreat Vista because I have the Vista and I have the Vision, and I wanted to be sure and put this or label this as what it came with. Maybe you get the same size with the Vision, I can't remember, but notice it says for camera calibration only. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my screen. Now, there's still some graphics on here. I need to go ahead and select those and delete them. Then I'm going to go over here to Settings, and right here it says Camera Calibration. I'll click on the purple rectangle over here. Now it says this function is intended for a situation where there is significant camera deviation. I'm not sure mine is considered significant, but I'm going to go forward with it anyway. It says if the current visual positioning is relatively accurate within 2 millimeters, it's not recommended to perform camera calibration. If the results are worse after camera calibration, you can click on the Restore Factory Settings to go back to where we were. I love having that option. Well, let's go ahead and click on Start Calibration and see what it tells me. It wants me to have a 16.54 by 11.54 piece of wood that's very flat, very clean, and has a thickness between 0 and less than 20 millimeters, which should also be between 0 and 0.78 inches. Now the battery in my calipers is dead, so I do wish they would have put on this wood the thickness of it. Let me see what else I can find. I do have this ruler that has both inches, and this is centimeters, but there's 10 millimeters between each centimeter. So I'm going to look at the side of this wood and have the metric side against it and see what I think. Looking at it, I feel like it's 3 millimeter thick. So let's go ahead and move forward with that. Remember, if this makes things worse, I can revert back to the factory settings. We're going to put 3 millimeters. Then we'll say next step. It wants me to position it in the bottom left corner with this spacer that you get with it against the left side. Here's the spacer they're talking about. And so it looks like on the screen that it is up against the front of the bed and up against the left side. So let me go ahead and do that. Working around my camera. Now it's right here. It's kind of hard to see the way the camera is set up. Let me try to adjust it down just a little bit. Okay, I think you can see it just a little bit better now. So I'm going to say Start Calibration. Tells me to close the lid. And then confirm when the lid is closed. I'll click Start Calibration again. And are you sure you want to start the calibration? Yes, I am. So now I'll click Confirm again. So it says it's drawing the pattern and that it's going to take about a minute. Okay, I'm supposed to open the lid and I'll click on Next Step. It says it's successful, so let's click on Complete. That was easy. All right, let's go ahead and X out of this, and then let's put our little small piece of wood back in. Let me put 3 marks on it real quick. You can see I put the 3 marks, again, the top right corner, top left corner, and right here. Just like before, I drew 3 small circles in the software and used the camera to put those circles on top of the pencil markings on the wood. I edited that part out this time since it was redundant and really didn't add anything to the video. Let's go ahead and start this. I'm excited to see the results. Let's take a look at this, and to me, it looks so much better. Now you might think, well, the first one wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but when you're trying to put designs on really small dog tags and you really want them centered, this is very important. Here's the engrave, right on top of the mark that I made, and the cut on the top left. Also, this time I have the air assist on. Now let's compare that to before. Before I calibrated, this one was off to the right, significantly to me. I don't know if scientifically it's considered significant. And then look at how messy it was without the air assist. And it was definitely too far to the right. It was not on top of the mark. And in our camera it was. Now this one I feel like it was in the right place, but again, no air assist. Look at those burn marks. So hopefully if you are going to buy the Vista or the Vision, or maybe you already have, hopefully you find some value in today's video. If you did, please give me that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing that. If you do, click that bell and then select the all notification. That way YouTube lets you know anytime I upload new content. Thank you so much for joining me today. On my next video with this Vista, we're going to do a cute little fall project. Stay tuned for that. But until then, bye-bye.